Hello and welcome back to your Smite Challenger Cup. My name is F. Joined here by Kret for the conclusion of our European tournament. This is week 5. Agilitas has won all 4 weeks up to this point. Potato Boys really want to take this one out just so they can be crowned number 1. Agilitas is mathematically guaranteed to make it to the wild card, which is why we play in the Challenger Cup. Top 2 seeds will fight against the bottom 2 seeds of the SPL in their respective region. So Agilitas, as we said, mathematically guaranteed. Potato Boys, not quite mathematically, but for all intents and purposes, they look good. Don't seem to be dropping anything anytime soon. So this game, Kret, is all about the Benjamins.
Seeds. Well, and seeds.
And seeds,
I mean,
yes.
you want to be first seed going in.
You want to fight Coast.
You want to fight Coast, yeah. So let's talk about these bans. The biggest thing here, I said it 3 times for a good reason. Proxy game 1 versus Proxy game 2. Completely different. Far cry. That Baka pick is so important, and that's why you see the chalk ban. That chalk ban allows Proxy to pick Baka into whatever country picks. Because honestly, what other good tanky solo laner is there? They're gonna have that option on the table. Country is quite a good chalk player, and they want to sort of pick on him a little bit more. That said, it also opens up Agilitas' opportunity for the Mage Rage, which I would love to see. Scylla likely going to be on Pretty Prime, but they do have an interchangeable god pool. But aside from the Aphrodite ban that Potato Boys just do every game forever, every single one of these picks just sort of feels like it's a targeted ban, a respect ban, and there's none of the obligatory picks or bans.
Right. We're going to see a comp similar to what we saw in the first game, Kret. In the second game, Potato Boys went a little more traditional, and we went safe in the solo lane. We saw a straight Guardian going on to Dirges. This time around, we're going to see, well, I guess we'll see an Athena, maybe. Who knows? Maybe jungle. We don't know what Adapting has under his sleeve. Haven't seen him play Athena jungle just yet, but I'm expecting to see a hyper-aggressive character for the solo lane. I think that's really when Potato Boys works well, when Proxy gets to play his natural position of aggression.
Yeah, Proxy is definitely aggressive. Early Kali pick. Strange that it would be so early that you'd show something you can last pick.
Yeah.
Repikas is very good at Kali, so I understand that I'd pick it. I still am not sold on picking it so early, but I feel like it's just, yeah, we don't want to show our other picks. We don't want to draft into them. And the jungle for Potato Boys is secured. Now, how they can respond to that Kali pick is picking mid and solo laners that won't feed the Kali or will be able to deal with it late game. Kali is vulnerable to kiting to some extent. And basically, you just have to keep her off of you. Ymir, banned away. We'll take that away from Kanye. The Athena is going to also take that away from Kanye. They're simultaneously drafting the team they want and picking away Kanye's gods. But he's just going to play Ares.
Exactly. Again with the ISIS ban.
Yeah. Arrow played it really well game 1.
Arrow's
and the Odin
really
makes
good.
It
scary.
Yeah, that's true. And the Athena, honestly. I mean, damage reduction stack is really good.
Yeah, we always talk about that. Athena, Isis, and Shell is one of the most damning combos when you're trying to win a team fight. Just stacking that damage reduction is incredible. Agilitas going to take Ram away from Suntouch. That's going to be very good. So we'll probably see Suntouch on the Freya today.
Yeah.
Bakasur coming out. I like it. I want the Bakasur.
Yeah,
I really hope he locks it.
And the Vulcan, too. I mean, that's something that we've seen banned out
Taking
a lot
it from Pretty
today.
Prime. Yep.
And Arrow playing very well on that. Switching to a Vamana. I want to Baka, please. But no, they're going to lock in the Vamana. And I think it's because they don't know what Confrey's picking yet. And so that's probably why Kali came out early. They wanted to allow Confrey to be the last pick. I'm fine with it. The other thing to mention is picking Kali 3rd and picking Kali 4th is not a significant difference because 4th pick Kali, they still have 2 picks after it. 3rd pick Kali, they have a ban and 2 picks, but they're not going to ban Kali. Maybe would have been better 4th pick Nuwa. And now I think Proxy's kicking himself, and he really would have wanted Bakasur there because Baka is really good against Nuwa. But this is going to be Mage Rage. This is totally going to be Mage Rage.
Yeah, I mean,
it's also this is late game comp from Agilitas.
Oh, without a doubt. You have a Kali, you have a Scylla, you have a Nuwa. This is, of course, a late game comp at the core of it. But we always talk about this catchphrase, Mage Rage. What exactly does that mean, F. and Kret? Well, Agilitas have two extremely potent solo players, both mid and solo lane, in Confrey and Pretty Prime. They could probably switch their positions. They can definitely switch their god.
Confrey used to be a mid laner. He was picked up by Agilitas as a mid laner. Like, right, you're good in the solo lane, and basically he was like, okay, can I still play mid lane characters? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever.
And then the best copied him.
And then the best copied him, but he also plays Favana.
So at the core of this Agilitas team, obviously talented through and through, just barely missed the SPL. But at the core of this Agilitas team are the two solo mage players. We do see Confrey bring out some other characters. He does have a very, very good shock. But when these two players get to play mages that can function in conjunction with each other, like a Scylla and a Nuwa, stuns into crushes, stuns into I'm a monster, global ultimates after I'm a monster doesn't quite finish people off.
Yeah.
It's already scaring me. That's what this Agilitas team is made for. That's what they bring into each and every game, and that's what they try to do. It's up to Potato Boys to see if they can contain this, ring or not, in the next match. This is the conclusion to the European Challenger Cup. Stay tuned for the exciting end to this best of three. Hello and welcome to your third game of the Challenger Cup Finals. Potato Boys versus Agilitas right here. This will be the conclusion. Winner takes all. Well, winner takes first place. Loser takes second. So not quite all, but winner will be crowned king for week 5.
And kings for week 1, 2, 3, and 4 are Agilitas coming out of the chaos side of the map. Repgas on Kali, Ataraxia on Ram Nuwa, played by Confrey, Pretty Prime on Scylla, and Kanye Life as Bacchus, the contender for the throne every week. The Potato Boys. But they haven't played Duck Duck Goose this week, and that might be the secret to their success so far.
Well, big difference, Kret, is that in previous, they weren't really able to scrim. Dirgius says Dirgius works a very intense job, and Proxy was in the process of moving. Well, everybody's settled in now. I don't want to say they're taking the games more seriously, but they definitely have a little more practice under their belt. And you mentioned the lack of Duck Duck Goose. Like I said, I don't want to say they're taking them more seriously, but they're a little more confident in their own ability to win over Agilitas. I'd like to think that in the past, just they respected Agilitas, knowing that this is a fantastic team. It's an SPL caliber team, and we just don't have the practice hours to really deal with it. This time around, they're fighting to win, not for second place.
I would absolutely love to see how Agilitas would fare in the SPL. And honestly, the Potato Boys, too, given their current rosters and their setups. But, I mean, hopefully we'll see after the wild card tournament, or we'll see some good games there at the very least. On the left-hand side, Agilitas is clearing their camps. Once again, the Potato Boys doing their greedy start. They do seem to perform well on the order side, but Kanye's going to sniff this out. He knows what they've been doing, and he's not getting any experience right now, but Hog is down, so this is actually a free steal. This is 100% free.
Just taking it.
Yeah, he's just gonna... Oh, belly flop. Oh no, Hog was back up. Okay, never mind. So they don't use Hog on the save camp. My mistake. Belly flop mistimed. Poor Kanye. Yeah, so that's a big loss for him. That's actually really, really big for Potato Boys. They're very far ahead.
Yep. Agilitas level 1 on their support. Ataraxia just hitting level 2, but still going in. Dash forward is the Ram, and preemptive strike will scare them off, and they'll go behind their minions.
I mean, the thing about Bacchus is you effectively don't get anything but damage until level 5, because you're not going to really get drunk enough. Even if you take your chug very early, you're not going to get drunk enough to have that stun on your 3, and you won't have the mana to sustain that. We'll use this 3 just for a little bit of damage, but honestly, I think that's a mistake just because it uses some mana. I guess trying to push the creeps out so they can go for their blue and clear that without Hog. Now, rotating out of the solo lane is adapting. He's very tricky about what he does when he rotates, but I think the big indicator is Proxy leaving lane to help with this red buff. Arrows, Vulcan still staying in the mid lane. He can't rotate, but they're still going to split because splitting is more efficient than soloing, and adapting, knowing the way he farms, is still able to get his level 5 early.
You know, also talking about that chug, we always reference how Bacchus has problems actually confirming the stun. This lane has not just 1 but 2 ways to stop that stun. You can taunt out of the burp, and you can banish out of the burp, which means Bogus is going to have a very, very tough time getting anything with that burp. So you're going to see a level of the belly flop most likely, and you're not going to see many stuns out of this Bacchus. Taunt onto Ataraxia for some extra damage in that shield wall, but he'll be alright, and he'll be able to heal that up with his build of Death Toll and Devo Gloves.
Yeah, Death Toll and Devo Gloves can give him really good sustain, whereas Suntouch is really relying on that Vamp Shot to heal him up. Does have one potion left. Also important to note, Proxy is probably... he's playing about as defensively as he did last game, going to an Emerald Talisman rank 2, which means that Confrey isn't going to kill him. Which probably suits our Nuwa player just fine. I mean, Emerald Talisman does impact Proxy's ability to dive the tower because it is a magical defense and offers no help with physical. It's not that much damage, so it will slightly hurt his wave clear as well. Confrey is just going to be farming in this lane, and he actually was prepared for more aggression. He has a breastplate rank 1, so making the adjustments between the games as well. Confrey playing a lot safer.
Love this play by Replica. Sat here for a solid 15 seconds plus, and he's going to trick out the left-hand side. Gets a stun out at the Dirgia, so Incense will be down, but Destruction is not. And he will take down Suntouch with the help of his Hunter. In comes Adapting, going to provide a great ring. Ataraxia in the air takes it, and Arrow with the ult into the ring, and that is the combo you dream of. Vulcan Ultimate comes through, claims 2 lives, and there's Pretty Prime as well. Not quite able to do much, but there's an Athena ult coming in.
Athena ult so strong when you respawn, and that totally messed up the plans for Agilitas. So the reason, and Ataraxia will be able to get under tower, so he's fine. But the reason Prime put his ultimate there, because he assumed that if Arrow juked back towards him and avoided the ultimate, Arrow would die. He would have been correct, but Dirgius respawned and had Defender of Olympus to get back into the engagement, which is something that Pretty Prime understandably did not account for. In the middle lane, though, Arrow has returned to base and is actually going to potentially be losing a lot of gold here. A lot of creeps. Dirgius clearing, though, so gold onto this board, not the mid laner. Could be a little of just a farming mistake.
Just a small misplay. Definitely able to come back, but you know, something we do like to note. 2-2 are the kills at the moment. Looks like a very even game, Cret. So we should have an interesting matchup. Only 4.5 minutes in, we are having a little bit of a problem, so we'll get back into the game as soon as possible. Bear with us. We'll be back soon. All right, we're going to get into the action directly right here at the 4:20 mark. Just want to get things off and running. I don't want to leave any sort of dilly-dallying with this game. This is one of the more exciting matchups we've seen. So over here, I'm going to direct your attention to the left-hand side. Adapting, Ataraxia, Suntouch, Dirgius, all going to be involved.
Blink in.
Blink, ring, there's the bird bomb. It's going to miss as Ataraxia finds himself in the air already. Fires the shots. Taunt's going to miss as well. Fantastic juke coming from Ataraxia, but here is the Vulcan. Here's the rest of Agilitas as well, though.
Yeah, no, Ataraxia taken down by the Valkyrie's discretion. Nice, quick little pickup. And Potato Boys, what do they want here? Do they want the Gold Fury? They could pull for it. I mean, they have a lot of damage. Vamana's here, so it is 5v2 right now. 5v3 soon. Nice jump in, though. Crush, I'm a monster, will connect. Potato Boys get the Gold Fury, but with the help of Nuwa, it's some big kills going the way of Agilitas. And speaking of big, the baby is, well, gonna get stunned out, actually. Proxy can get turned on here as long as he gets interrupted out of his clear the path, but I think they might be out of CC. It's up to Kanye with the belly flop, knock up, and Proxy will go down to Gold Fury, but at the cost of 3 members of Potato Boys.
And that's the power of the Global Ultimate. Not only is it 3 members of Potato Boys, it also will be, unquestionably, the solo tower as we watch it fall right here, right now. Confrey got a kill in that fight. He got 2 assists in that fight, and he didn't even have to leave lane. Proxy had to come all the way over here, put himself into danger, harm's way, and actually wound up killing, getting himself killed for that purpose. Global Ultimate coming out from Confrey, just, that is Nuwa's trait. That is what she does. That's why you pick her.
The other cool thing is she's still really good at killing towers. The minions do bypass backdoor protection because they're minions. Like, she actually literally summons minions. She also has unnaturally high attack speed for a mage, which helps her carve through towers a little bit quicker. When you account for the fact that mages actually do decent to towers, especially when they're building penetration and raw magic power, which coincidentally is basically what we build on Nuwa, you do sometimes see like utility, like a Gem of Isolation, or like the defensive Breastplate of Valor coming out from Confrey here. But generally, the raw damage build combined with the high base attack speed means she's actually really good at killing towers in the later stages of the game. Jump out onto Dirgius, will get hit by the Crush. Taunt doesn't really connect. Now Prime gets through the wall, just going right under that Magma Bomb. Nice time monster through the wall. Dirgius is going to be low, able to get out of the cage, but taken down by Confrey once again. He'll have that cooldown reduction soon, and that kill is just enough for Agilitas to casually disengage. Look for the mid-Phoenix, or mid-Harpies. Not Phoenixes. Different kind of bird.
Different kind of bird, just like Agilitas themselves. 7.5 minutes in, folks.
Get it.
Even game, despite Agilitas being up by about 1,800 gold. So, experience lead, but not quite a gold lead. So.
Man, all right. Every week this matchup is just, it is the same every week. It's always Agilitas versus Potato Boys, but it's a dynamic matchup. Things change a lot. I mean, you're having different picks come out, different bans, teams trying different things. Amazing Thor play coming out. Thor banned out this game, I believe. And Arrow just has been having such a good day. We saw the Vulcan Odin combination. I haven't actually seen that happen since the Odin rework in a competitive game, but it was beautiful.
Arrow actually has been playing this Vulcan to the extent that I like to see. Like, we always talk about it. We always talk about Pretty Prime. We always talk about Gnaw. We always talk about, I'm pretty sure that's the only people that actually play Vulcan, but Arrow actually bringing it out, and nobody ever, played the fanfare for him.
The third Vulcan.
Huge rotation coming out from Agilitas to this left-hand side, and they're going to find nothing. Potato Boys is going to go ahead and retreat, and Vamana needs to be looking at something. They need to punish this gigantic rotation for the first time.
He's freezing the lane. He's actually completely keeping this frozen. He will be able to tank these archers for a long time. This lane, if Proxy plays it well, will never push forward. Ever. That's incredible. Big damage on the Dirgius, though. And so Agilitas needs to force something 5v4. They want to make it happen. That said, they do have a nice little experience lead to be able to do that, and actually Proxy did end up breaking the freeze, so that's... Well, no, it's not ever. Eventually it will catch up, but you can keep a freeze going for a long time, and Proxy instead going to try and get some pressure on the tower. The split push coming in from the Vamana and the Rom. Now under tower on the left-hand side, diving in is Kanye, not going to hit the belly flop. Dirgy is in the backline, Odin as well, but Dirgy is getting very low and taken down before he can get into the Defender of Olympus. Now adapting, killed by Revkaz with a double, and a double on Kylie is never good. Kanye's belly flop should be getting up soon. F-Dot, what's going to happen?
It's an incredible fight coming out from Agilitas. It's a 1-for-2 trade, and we're gonna look at Potato Boys looking for the left lane. With the fight that just went down, we see Vamana finally pushing on the tower. As we said, we need Vamana to kind of do something to punish this giant rotation. So Vamana's going to get the right-hand tower down to about 50% and then fall back. Freya, on the other hand, going to push the left-hand tower. Going to fall back as well. Mid-camp spawning soon. So now we're just going to return to normalcy. Farming, etc. After all of that excitement, we lead by about 1,000 gold. Not even for Agilitas after a gigantic fight that didn't even get the tower, despite the fact that there were a lot of individual mistakes going the way of Potato Boys. It was just a fantastic display from Vulcan. So we talked a lot about this Vulcan, Kret. What does Vulcan continue doing what he does? Actually, hold that thought. Sun Touch getting pushed under tower. He'll be all right. Does Vulcan continue doing what he's doing, or does he look to sort of change his game plan?
What it comes down to with Vulcan is he has 3 damage abilities, which is super powerful. So he's able to put it.
Adapting going to take down the jungler. Pretty Prod taking down Adapting in turn. 1-for-1 at the moment. 3 members of Agilitas in the left-hand lane looking for this tower. Still, Dirgius and Arrow the only ones able to provide any sort of defense, but they're going to be good enough. That Vulcan can provide spacing with the turret that's not down just yet. As I speak, he puts it down. And the Magma Bomb, just so much zoning.
Yeah, Magma Bomb is really incredible. It's one of the strongest forms of CC in the game, being that stun knockup combination. So it's essentially a knockup that goes past knockup immunity. It's a super knockup, basically. That's super strong. He's got a turret, which is great sustained damage, and will burst when you get into later stages of the game. The Vulcan combo that does not include his ultimate is 3-2-1, where you drop the turret and the backfire. The turret will hit someone once. That's really, really powerful, and that much damage is guaranteed. It's gonna get one shot off. Yeah, we're gonna have some spectator issues really quick. We'll be back after a short break, guys, so just stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back. Apologies, just a couple of technical issues. We think we've got them ironed out, so we should be able to bring you the conclusion of this match, which has been a nail-biter thus far. Teams are separated by a 1,300 gold lead for Agilitas, and that is very close, Craig.
Yeah.
It is the beginning of a lead. Let's talk a little bit about that. It's the beginning of a lead, but it's not a lead just yet. You have to make it a lead.
Well, experience is the other big factor, and looking at it, it's really the difference between Ataraxia and Suntouch is 2 levels, and then adapting, and then there's like a 1 level here and there, but big difference is the Hunter's Arrow getting jumped on. Aegis is going to immune a ton, now taking reduced damage, and we'll be able to get out of that one. A lot of non-ultimate resources used by Agilitas there, so they just have to wait for some short cooldowns. As Proxy dives in the backline, if he doesn't get this kill into Confrey, and it looks like he won't, shouts to that Breastplate of Valor, this could be a nice turnaround. Proxy will get knocked up by the belly flop Replicas, unleashing the damage, but Mana should be able to get away. No, the ultimate from Ataraxia securing the kill. Now Ataraxia falling into the Odin cage will be able to avoid the bird bomb with a clutch roll. Suntouch unleashing the damage, but Suntouch is going to take big damage in return. Now Confrey able to secure a kill as well.
2.
Vulcan goes down. That was off the new ultimate, wasn't it?
Yup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Confrey is now 4-0-5. All 4 of those kills have come from ultimates where she would have been out of range of the fight anyway. Agilitas aggressing on the Gold Fury.
And that's a really interesting dynamic. Oftentimes you see the new ultimate used sort of in the middle of fights after the engagement, sort of as self-peel and damage to everyone and reveal, because it will sort of counter flank attacks. Confrey is sort of doing that, but he always gets kills. And so it's really, really clutch timing coming out there from the Agilitas solo laner. Now going into a Soul Reliquary, or a Soul Trap, looking for the Book of Thoth.
Oh, Book of Thoth makes more sense.
Yeah. Soul Reaver would be a little weird on new. I mean, it would, her single target burst would be insane, but with the ultimate interaction, a little strange.
Yeah, definitely a little bit strange there. You know, and part of this, I want to hand this to the team, not just Confrey himself with the new ultimates getting the kills. That's communication.
Yes.
Finish these guys off their in kill threshold. You're not going to waste the ult. That's solid team communication.
And also not wasting abilities when the ult will finish the kill.
Exactly. Like, credit to Confrey, he's the one piloting the character, but Agilitas has really turned this solo lane character into a team character, which I absolutely love. One of my old things that I like to preach, credit, is treating your team as if it was, instead of 5 characters with 4 abilities, just one team with 20 abilities. And they're really making use of Confrey's ult in that regard.
And the big thing about this about the new ultimate, it definitely does get a bit of a bad rap for pressing 4, hitting everyone, which is totally true. That's justified. But there's definitely intelligence in deciding how and when to use it at higher levels of new play. And, you know, combined with that and the fact that she is a little bit harder to use in her non-ultimate kit, I don't want to say that this character is completely face roll. Though she can be sort of like a good Kukulkan play, right? Good Kukulkan play is not face roll. Bad Kukulkan play or mediocre Kukulkan play kind of is.
Excellent point with the Kukulkan reference there. Good knockup from Proxy. They're going to try and aggress out of this, what seemed to be an attack. Bad ultimate coming out from Pretty Prime right there. Proxy will get hit by a great crush, though, so 1 for 1 on those. Suntouch gets the kill onto the enemy support. And again, the Vulcan ult. 100% accuracy this game, folks. Not something we can say a lot of the time. And Arrow claims another life, this time at the hand of the Magma Bomb. And Vulcan, one more time, able to make it out.
So the big mistake there from Agilitas was, first of all, focusing the mana. And second of all, focusing of mana with a defensive item. That said, The big recovery from Agilitas was split pushing down an outer tower and probably an inner tower because Vamana's not really that threatening right now. There it is. That's a downside to Vamana when he has a defensive item and a Fatalis and no pen boots. Proxy's not actually that scary. He doesn't actually do that much damage. His dive target is going to primarily be Confrey, but because Zilla can dash away, Repigas is immune to death, can jump away, etc. Adorax has the roll, can go up in the air. Confrey kind of just has to juke in the fog and hope to survive, but he will, because he has a breastplate of valor. And so when you have that 75 extra physical protection, which is a huge amount, up against a Vamana that has no penetration, it doesn't matter how much damage his ultimate adds on, because he's not going to do that much overall anyway. So big misplay from Agilitas. They do recover thanks to Ataraxia AFKing in the lane.
I'm still thinking about Arrow. His Vulcan play is out of this world. 100% accuracy on those Vulcan ults so far. Agilitas definitely come out on top of that fight, though. Good play coming out from the red team at the moment. Repikas playing this Kali, not really doing anything. Quietly 3-3 and 6, so able to provide a decent amount of stuff, I suppose. Pretty low on the player damage, 6,800, so not really a huge impact. Not quite becoming what Kali is supposed to do. Does have Chin size online, but not present, Kret. Why is that?
Chin size on Vamana? On
Kali.
Kali. Okay, so chin size on Kali is just
that's standard.
Incredible.
So, yeah, I mean, so she's just not making the type of impact that Agilitas would like to see.
Right, and what that comes down to is her active choices. If you don't have beads, you get peeled. If you don't have sprint, you have trouble sticking your targets. And if you don't have blink, you have to use your jump to generally engage unless you're able to get a really good flank, which is hard to do at this level of play. Sun Touch getting caught out, forced into the ultimate, belly flop used by Kanye, not going to be able to secure that. So what it comes down to is Repikas can't get the positioning he wants. He is getting peeled off. Ataraxia a little bit caught out in the cage, will go up in the air. Proxy is fighting Repikas, and this is exactly what the Kali needs to do. Pretty Prime secures the kill. Kali can carve through Vamana all day long. Adapting now getting turned on and destroyed. He is not that tanky without his shield up, and it was not for that ultimate. The Earthshaker misses for the first time in this game. We can let that through, but Confrey's going to find a kill onto Adapting. Force Sun Touch completely out. Repikas wants to dive. Will need to use his ultimate. That jump in was aggressive and poorly placed. But
ill-advised jump, but fantastically advised. Tower goes to Agilitas. They now have 5 towers down. Potato Boys only have 1 tower. Agilitas has 5. 14-8. Read the kills. Taking a look at the graph right quick. Agilitas leading this match by 6,100 gold, 8,100 experience, significantly in the driver's seat of this one. Potato Boys, what happened here, Kret? Honestly, I wanted to phrase a really intrinsic question, but just frankly, what happened? First game was amazing.
Yeah. Bakasura happened in game 1. It didn't happen in game 2, and it didn't happen in game 3. That's the really simple version, but it's also Agilitas kicking things up a notch. They did make a really bad play in that right-hand lane where they focused Vamana, they didn't get the kill, and now they've adjusted, and that's so important for Agilitas. They're a team that's very good at making adjustments on the fly. They're like, all right, we can't focus down Vamana, but Repikas can by himself because he has the chin size, he has the steroid. Vamana has no way to self-peel, especially when he's in that ultimate form. It's either like you drop your ult and then potentially die if Repikas interrupts you clear the path, or you stay in your ult and you die because Kali's able to stick to you.
And I guess that's sort of the answer to the question I posed earlier. Yeah. Why hasn't Kali done anything just yet?
Well, she just did.
She didn't need to do anything before. Now her job, now that Vamana is basically online with the Fatalis, now her job is to kill Vamana, and that's what she's doing. So.
And there's kind of, I feel like Vamana in Conquest has a really difficult matchup against Kali. That's like 2, right? It's like Odin because you can peel him with the cage, and Kali because Kali can actually kill Vamana. I guess Baka can too. Jumping in on the right-hand side is Kanye. Will take some damage for it, but not really gonna amount to too much. And Agilitas is just, they're waiting. They're waiting for the right engagement, but if they get it, they can take Fire Giant, and then they can win the game.
Without a doubt, Potato Boys trying to get something going. Good posturing. Potato Boys have really good positioning on this right-hand side. They should look to fight, and they will. Jumping in is adapting. Gets the slow onto Kanye. That's the tank, though. Out on the left is Arrow. Going to get hit by the ultimate, but he did have Aegis up before, so less damage. Replicast is going to be a good target on the Vulcan, and that will be fantastic cleanup from Confrey. Not only getting kills, but also lowering the threshold. Anorexia picks up a double. Confrey picks up a double. That's the deicide, and Potato Boys will throw it in. 21 minutes and 6 seconds is the final time on your clock. Agilitas take home #1 for week 5 of the European Challenger Cup Series.
That was just a straight fight. That was a straight brawl. And it actually was slightly in favor of Potato Boys at the beginning.
They had good positioning.
They had really good positioning, and Rom wasn't there yet. Rom was far away. But coming in with that mid-game timing from the chin size on Ataraxia, which is really important, especially in this situation, because it changes the dynamic. But when you're looking at a Freya who doesn't build into crit, so it's a different comparison scale than other AD carries. When you're looking at Athena, a Vamana, and an Odin, typically tanky characters, this chin size is really going to be a nice niche pickup for Ataraxia. It did take him a long time to build. The power curve for chin size is awful. Going from rank 2 to rank 3 totally sucks. Once you get rank 3, it's still the same chin size, and it's still, in terms of auto attacks, it's actually more efficient than Heartseeker as a standalone item. Like Heartseeker, the item that you stack, and then if you die, you lose the stacks, and it's super cheap. Chins is just ridiculous. So I love the pickup. I love the way they used it. I really like this surrender from Potato Boys too, because it was honest. They took a 5v5 fight. It was slightly in their favor. They lost it hands down. Agilitas would have immediately taken Fire Giant and probably a tower and a Phoenix. So that's Fire Giant plus, another 3,000 gold? That game was definitely on the way to the end.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I'm very happy that Confrey got to come through in that last game.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Bakasura happened in the first game, but Confrey was the reason for that loss of game 1. And it's nice to see him be such a large part of the victory of game 2. A lot of the team fights revolved around him, but all in all, I think this was an Agilitas team win. If you asked me to pick an MVP, despite the 717 on Confrey, I really wouldn't be able to. Kanye Life played fantastically, but more importantly, I want to talk about Potato Boys real quick before we end the broadcast. This is one of the first weeks that we really got to see Potato Boys at their full potential. Potato Boys haven't really been able to practice too hard. A lot of different varying factors going into that. So with that said, this week they looked completely different, and I can't wait for week 6 and week 7, because now not only are we guaranteed a good matchup, but we're guaranteed a good matchup with good games.
Yeah, I mean, what it came down to is Potato Boys have always had kinks to iron out in god pools and little weirdnesses and positioning, communication, whatever.
And they got a chance to, and we're seeing it.
Yeah, and we totally saw that. And it's like, there are more kinks. It picks coordination, active items, itemization, whatever. And I think they'll just keep doing it. And I think because they're getting more practice time, even if they don't take first seed, and it's starting to, I want to take a look at the math, but I think they're starting to lose mathematical viability on getting that first seed out of the Challengers Cup.
Right.
They're still looking good, and they could still be a really big threat for whoever the 5th team in the SPL is, whoever the other team going to the wild card is.
Yeah, that's up in the air. Don't have that figured out just yet. Don't forget, in case you guys are new to the format, top 2 seeds right now, Agilitas, which are mathematically confirmed, and Potato Boys. The top 2 seeds will fight against the bottom 2 seeds of the SPL. Direct doorway into the Smite Pro League. So keep watching, keep paying attention. Give everybody a big round of applause for the performances that we've seen today. We'll be back next week on Saturday for North America and Sunday for Europe. As always, thank you so much, chat, for showing up and showing the support for some of your favorite Challenger teams. Don't forget, your favorite guy here might be the next guy in the Pro League. So for Cret, Moji, and all of the admins, all of the people here at the Challenger Cup Salt Squad, as we like to call it, thanks for showing up, and we'll see you next week.